Super Rugby round number 6, Moana Pasifika and the Chiefs from Pukekohe. And for a while, this was looking like being an embarrassing scoreline. Super Rugby's been so good this year that part of me keeps worrying eventually it's just going to go to crap and we'll start getting some pretty stink results. But this one, 43-7 at halftime, finishes 50 points to 35, and if Moana Pacifica had just scored one more try, we could have had a grandstanding finish, but it was not quite to be. But man, the Chiefs will be gutted that they finished this one without even a bonus point when they were up 43-7 at halftime. Moana Pacifica, you could tell by the on-field interviews at full time, were just so disappointed with themselves for that first half performance. You can't be giving up that kind of lead and then having to chase things down. Bloody hell, did they give it a good effort, but not quite to be. Go through some of the key events and stats of the game. You guys can let us know your thoughts on how it was in round number 6. Chiefs went for a penalty early, which is a bit of a marker of respect against Moana Pacifica, and I would say the crowd of Pukekohe not looking too bad. It's fairly close in terms of the driving distance for fans of either side, Moana Pacifica or the Chiefs, kind of right in the middle, so that seemed to work for people. But yeah, 3 points to lead early for the Chiefs, and then they extended it in quick-fire fashion. You can't be kicking kind of midfield nothing kick clearances to the Chiefs' backline because they will absolutely punish. D-Mac runs it straight back at them. For his effort, he gets absolutely smashed, but still able to get the ball away to Stevenson, who gets it to Carter, and then the support line from Slater. First try of the game, 10 points to 0. And we're only 10 minutes in. The Chiefs scrum is looking absolutely dominant, and their offload game is looking very hard for the Moana Pacifica guys to deal. Every time they offload, they are getting over the advantage line. The offloading is what gets them the next try. Moana Pacifica concede a penalty. Chiefs go for a 5-meter line out, and they get some wide ball out to Stevenson. It's from D-Mac. The setup pass, 17 points to 0. And then it's really starting to look like a rout. The Chiefs forwards get going. It's the back that finishes. The young halfback, Xavier Rowe, starts with a scrum penalty to get himself the field position in the first place. 24-0. Moana Pacifica conceding so many penalties, they go on the yellow card warning. Next phase from Amor Savage, the captain, the lock. He collapses the maul and gets yellow carded. From that 5-meter scrum, Rona goes close, quick ball, and Narawa, who's kind of come into the midfield for this one, gets the wide pass out to Carter. 29-0. It is getting embarrassing. But, to be fair, during that yellow card period, they galvanized a little bit more on Pacific. I think it might have been their first 22 entry of the entire game. And they actually managed to get some decent attacking play going. They got held up in the Chiefs' goal area, and I thought, well, at least that's killed a little bit of the yellow card time, if nothing else, even if they didn't get any points from it. But they did get points from it. A few minutes later, Havili was able to go close after a Moana Pacifica line break, and then he released the ball, picked it up, goes again, and is able to go over for the score. So at least that gets them on the board, 29-7. However, the Chiefs hit back straight away. Akoi offload to Selby Rickett. And when Selby Rickett, the big lock, who's not even supposed to be playing, he's a late recall into the squad for Vai, who was a late scratching from the side, is able to swerve his way through the Moana Pacifica backfield. That is genuinely embarrassing. That's the kind of stuff that in the review is going to look pretty bad. That shouldn't be happening. He's a big lumber and lock. And he's able to swerve through the Moana Pacifica defense. 36-7. D-Mac gets one again. Before half time, it's just kind of loose ball. D-Mac heads up play, sees some space, and he takes it. He's got a swerving run, which you can kind of understand people not being able to catch. But Selby Rickett, come on. 43 points to 7. The Chiefs have had 62% possession. They've had 56% territory. Moana Pacifica is tackling at 76%. You don't need me to tell you that's pretty bad when you are missing about 1 in 4 tackles. You're not going to win many games like that. The Chiefs are at 85 or 84, which is not fantastic, but it's solid enough. and the penalty count is 10-2. 3 of them are Mawhileo, the tight head prop. They have been getting pumped at scrum time. But whatever Tana Umanga, the coach of Moana Pasifika, says at halftime, seems to do something positive, because they come out and they're just looking generally more spirited, and I think it shows in their play. They start the second half with Pole, the loose head prop. He is able to go over from close range, kind of after a scrappy attacking lineup, but you take what you can get. 43-14. That's what they absolutely needed to start the half, to make sure their heads don't go down, because if they concede first, you maybe end up conceding 60-70 points in this game. And generally, the second half play from then on is a lot better. They should have scored earlier. They had a couple of chances close range, and then Narawa and Stevenson had to put on a heck of a try-saving tackle into touch. Chiefs were on the defence for the opening stanza of the second half. Took until 58 minutes, but Moana Pasifika did get another one, and it had been coming. I feel like it's fair. The momentum was all of Moana Pasifika. So Malolo, he's able to get one from close range. He loves a try from close range. Been seeing him do it for years, even back in the MLR days. 43 points to 21. And then 10 minutes later, they get another one to Tuitama, who I believe is on his debut, out on the left wing. Cross kick from Pellegrini. Maybe a little bit of question mark about the grounding, but he seems to have his thumb just enough on the ball. So that's given, and Pellegrini has got a hell of a boot in terms of his kicking from the tee. He slots the conversion, so he not only sets up the try, but gets the conversion. 43-28. And then finally, when we see the Chiefs on attack, surely about to put Moana Pasifika away and just going to stomp this wee comeback which is on, Havili just risks it all with the one-handed intercept, because you know if you miss, you knock it on, you're absolutely getting pinged for a deliberate knock-on. Gets the one-handed intercept from his own 22. He is away. Tupaia has got not enough gas to catch Havili. Havili is able to go length of the field for the try, and Pellegrini slots the conversion. So 43-35 is still a 2-score game. If Moana Pasifika can score next, it is properly game on. But they end up putting a clearance kick out on the full, which gives the Chiefs the territorial pressure they need. Eventually, they end up with a maul close range attack, which sees Tokiaho go over. So that brings up the 50 for the Chiefs, but at least they didn't get nilled in the second half. But they will be absolutely gutted, because they only finished with 2 more tries than Moana Pasifika, which is not enough for a bonus point. So the Chiefs, they will not be happy, as I said, with the second half. The second half finishes 28-7 to Moana Pasifika after it being 43-7 the other way in the first half. So pretty crazy game. The possession finishes 50-50. More or less, 52-48. Territory is literally 50-50. So, Moana Pasifika in the second half, Chiefs in the first. Penalty count 12-9, which is slightly against Moana, but not hugely different. It was totally lopsided in the first half. Turnovers won, though. The Chiefs will be happy with that, alongside their scrumming effort. 5 turnovers won. Guys like Jacobson and Boshier and Stevenson all getting a few turnovers won. That was an area where Moana were a bit struggling. But yeah, the scrum, Pellegrini's boot, like I mentioned, is such an asset for Moana Pasifika, but like Tamoifolau wasn't really able to find any space into this one, sadly. Line breaks finishes 6 apiece. Stevenson had 3 of them for the Chiefs. Havili had 2 of them for Moana. DMAC had 5 defenders beaten. Malolo had 4 defenders beaten. So yeah, it actually ends up being an entertaining game. Like I said, I thought it was going to be embarrassing. I thought, like, at half-time, the Chiefs are surely going to bring up 60, 70 points. And this is just like, oh, that was a bit of a rubbish watch. Nobody's going to tune in for that one. But nah, if you went to that game, I think you'd be pretty entertained. If Moana had just gotten 1 more try, it would have been a perfect kind of comeback attempt. But the Chiefs are able to just kind of take it away from them to make it a little bit more comfortable. It was never quite within a score. But hey, spirited comeback nonetheless. You guys let us know your thoughts on the game. Chiefs are on the bye next week, and the Moana Pasifika lads are away to the Crusaders, who are taking on my Blues tomorrow. So it'll be interesting to see how the Crusaders go in that one too. You guys take care of yourselves. Enjoy the Super Rugby. This one was certainly a good watch, but you guys let us know your thoughts, and talk to you guys again soon. See you later.